Hey everyone, Kenton Meyer here. Today I want to talk about a trend that I've noticed has become increasingly concerning over the last year or two on YouTube, and it is the transformation of YouTube as a platform of authentic self-expression to this sort of engagement maxing content where it's all about keeping viewers as long as the video is possible, getting as many views as possible, and it's completely turned into a platform for monetary incentives. It's very difficult anymore to find real authentic creators who just want to talk about the topics they like or make content about the topics they like and put themselves out there. Really quickly, the timeline overview here is that YouTube started as a platform about broadcasting yourself, and nowadays it's about how much money can I extract, how much engagement can I extract from the average viewer. That's how most creators see it nowadays. And there's a lot of negative consequences that we're going to get into. And more importantly, maybe you'll find value in this video because shifting your content to a more authentic tone, even a more unpolished tone, actually may help you in the long run as YouTube becomes increasingly more professional and competitive. So let's get into it. Original vision here. What was YouTube started on? Broadcast yourself. Their literal slogan, right? What did it launch as? A platform for personal expression with no monetization system. The success was measured by your genuine connection and the quality of the content you produced, regardless of the actual production or the editing. And it was low stakes, high authenticity. People just featured raw, unedited videos, and it was okay. It worked because no complex algorithm really existed, which meant no pressure to optimize content. But what we saw around 2007 was a shift, a fundamental shift in really the internet forever. It's not just YouTube, where the YouTube Partner Program launched, which monetized, fundamentally changed creator incentives, where it transformed sort of a hobby platform into a potential career path, into a lucrative financial opportunity. And we saw this first arms race emerge, where production quality created this race dynamic where creators who invested in better cameras, lighting, and editing, they consistently outperformed other creators with that old unpolished look. And really, if you look at this time, the first creators who really emerged as these influencer types, they were the ones to have that first editing quality, that first production quality. And it created the first major barrier to entry on YouTube. And we also saw how multi-channel networks emerged to help creators maximize their revenue, which further professionalized the platform. Everyone remembers Machinima back then. Algorithm optimization era. This is really where it really took off, where YouTube focused on now the algorithm. People focused on, well, the creators on YouTube focused on the algorithm because they recognized, especially around 2016, where I really remember it peaking, people like Leafy is here in Drama Alert, they essentially pioneered drama-based clickbait with these thumbnails and these titles, which were just outlandish, but it worked because they recognized that YouTube was not about authenticity anymore. If you wanted to make the most money, it was about clicks, it was about engagement, it was about watch time retention. And this is where people really started honing in and treating YouTube as a science, and they A/B tested thumbnails, they crafted titles with the best keywords. There were, I think things like vidIQ back then launched. I don't know what year it was, but it was somewhere around there where that came a thing. And YouTube shifted away further towards authenticity, towards a platform with monetary incentives. And nowadays, this is where the engagement maxing era is. And it really started after COVID, during COVID, after COVID, with, I think what it was, yes, more people started watching videos during COVID, but Mr. Beast changed the platform forever because what he recognized as, and credit to him, but there's a lot of negative consequences of what he's done. He essentially, as I mentioned, people treated it like a science, as a platform like a science. He was one of the first people that really took it seriously. In some of his interviews where he talks about how he became so successful, how he cracked the YouTube algorithm, he recognized that certain titles, certain thumbnails would outperform others, and he would study for hundreds of hours with multiple people. what performed best, and he would leverage this content to his ability. But what we saw is this engagement maxing era spawn, and now it's gotten really bad on YouTube, where production quality, editing quality, these emotional hooks at the beginning of the video, the flashy content, the flashy editing was what mattered most. Viewers nowadays almost expect TV quality production from independent creators. Just look at your average homepage. They're all, if you actually really study the videos, there's a hook in the first 15 seconds. There's flashy editing. There's not really a dull moment in the video. But what we're losing is the authentic nature. And there's a competitive pressure cycle with this, where it's this race dynamic where each advancement in content optimization raises the bar for everyone else. And it creates this never-ending cycle of increased investment and effort, where now it almost feels like you need a whole team of editors, filmers, lighting specialists to be able to have even a chance to compete in the space. You look at the videos that go viral nowadays, it is not raw and polished videos like this. It is mostly it's very high production quality content. I just saw this YouTube channel. It was this AI channel. I forget what it's called. But they posted one video, and it was produced by a company, and the editing was so high quality on it, it would have taken probably one individual hundreds of hours to make it. But it blew up. It got like 500,000 views, a brand new channel in a couple of days, and someone like me, the average creator, can't compete with that. So what we see is a rising economic barrier to compete. In 2010, maybe a $500 camera, lighting, and audio equipment was considered professional or top tier. Nowadays, you see ones that are upwards of in the thousands. I've seen some tens of thousands if you're talking about really high quality lighting. If you're talking about like an editing, you need a computer to edit these videos, so that's a couple thousand. And then you need high quality mic. So you could talk close to 10,000, maybe more for these really high quality videos. But even nowadays, it seems like you need a couple $1,000s. What does this lead to? Well, it leads to, on the platform, a pressure cycle where everyone feels like they need to optimize their content to this degree, which is unsustainable. And what we've seen is sort of a mass exodus on the platform of older creators who have been around for 5, 7, 10 years. They either start posting less because YouTube, each video gets less views, or they feel like they have to up the quantity of videos, which maybe dilutes their platform, or even worse, they're forced to optimize their content to another level, which creates creator burnout. You see a lot of people leaving the platform, so it's very disappointing. But what we're seeing is the dopamine economy form, where the algorithm rewards engagement over authenticity. If you go, like I said, go on the homepage and just skim over the first 10 videos that pop up, most of them are not authentic. They feel disconnected. You feel as if you're disconnected from the producer of the content. And even these sort of documentaries, these real life journalist folks, I'm trying to think of, oh man, I can't remember the name, but there's one YouTuber who was known for his authentic, real documentaries on different parts of the world. Now it feels like it feels like a news show. It feels like a 60 Minutes type show almost, where the production quality is so high, I don't feel connected to him anymore. And it's disappointing because that's what people like me value. I don't want to watch a video that with perfect editing that maximizes my dopamine. You know what? If I don't do that, I want to go play video games. I'll go scroll on TikTok. I want to go to YouTube for kind of the more high quality, but authentic stuff, right? When I mean high quality, insightful content that means something, not content that's gonna be this engagement maxing crap. And we've seen viewer conditioning happen with this short form content, where audiences have been trained to expect this constant stimulation, making the slower paced or authentic content feel boring by comparison. Negative consequences of this. Well, as I mentioned, the authentic human connection is significantly diminished. YouTube as a platform has completely been overshadowed by performance-driven content. And a really interesting thing that, as I was contemplating this topic, I realized that a lot of toxic influencers have popped up over the last couple years because of the controversy and because of the extreme opinions that generate higher engagement. And it creates a feedback loop that rewards divisive content over constructive, criticism or dialogue. And it's disappointing because, we don't want this kind of divisive content to be promoted, but yet we're finding that viewers are watching that because the algorithm rewards that. And interestingly enough, additionally, content homogenization has emerged where videos on YouTube, yes, they may be talking about different topics. Yes, it may be different creators, but they all sort of feel the same. The editing style feels the same. There's no pizzazz. There's no uniqueness. And everyone feels pressurized to create like the most optimized thumbnails, the most optimized titles, all this sort of stuff. It's very rare to see any videos without a thumbnail, which is interesting because if all the content is the same, what really stands out? So it reduces the diversity that made early YouTube compelling. You don't see authentic creators anymore with this unpolished stuff. Everything feels so polished anymore. But the downside is that a lot of these videos, they use sophisticated psychological tactics in the thumbnails, the titles, the hooks. A lot of people put a lot of time into researching this, and it replaced honest presentation. It feels like it creates a manipulative environment. When I watch you, I find creators which are authentic and create good content, but a lot of the recommended content, it just doesn't feel like I'm receiving value. It feels more like the content creators are trying to extract watch time out of me. They're not trying to give me something. They're trying to extract something. So it's also, with creators' mental health crisis, blah, 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 burnout, anxiety. I want to talk about some timeline predictions here because I think that when you look at the YouTube algorithm and what videos are trending, where we're moving, a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but I've noticed that people are becoming increasingly dissatisfied and disappointed with social media. I'm not talking about the short form content. I'm talking about the longer form content. Even they're becoming disappointed with that because what we're seeing is it's engagement maxing, it's dopamine maxing. And we're losing the authentic nature. People want the authentic touch and the content. They want to feel like they're actually connecting with the person making the video. So I think that an authenticity renaissance is coming. I think it's going to start this year, maybe next, where people with viewers with fatigue over this with this overproduced content is growing. And platforms like Patreon have shown significant growth in the last couple of years with direct creator support. I think it suggests audiences value authentic connection, over this production content. Most recently, I saw this one guy named Ian on YouTube, I think is his name. He's literally a 7-Eleven worker, but he blew up because people in the comments they were so enthralled with they're so enthusiastic about his authentic, just one-on-one, no BS presentation, unedited videos, just talking about his life, talking about his struggles, and people resonated with that rather than projecting some polished presentation about how, you got this perfect life and you're trying to sell a course. So, also, platform fragmentation, current trends, I think YouTube's market dominance maybe decline as AI takes over and creators leave and authentic content declines. Other platforms will maybe seek to capitalize on this hole in the content ecospace. Nebula, interestingly enough, has been demonstrating significant growth for the last couple of years, but we'll see where that goes. YouTube's always the king. So maybe we could see some competition, but really AI content disruption is going to be huge because what people don't realize is if content becomes increasingly focused on engagement metrics rather than substance or authenticity, AI content will take off to a point where if, let's say, I made professional videos, I made polished videos, AI content is going to be able to do that to my level much more quickly. So it's going to put me out of a job if I was one of those professional creators. So it's going to force human content creators to emphasize authentic connection as their advantage. So if you're in this space now and you're a creator, maybe you're struggling, maybe you're just starting, I think the unpolished look is standing out. I think the unpolished look is going to stand out, and I think the authentic touch, just talk about what you want to talk about. Who cares about, you know, what other people think is engaging? If people resonate with your content, the algorithm will find it over time. And then the great simplification, another idea, basically just people are going to migrate away from this high production model towards more sustainable and community focused content where the community matters, the viewers matter, and the connection between them. So if you guys are creators in this space, I recommend trying to build that authentic connection. You don't have to sacrifice your topics or the content you're already making, but just try to increase the authenticity. And yeah, I think this is where we're going. It's concerning, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to level out. And if you guys, if you guys want authentic content, if you guys maybe want a community of authentic people who just want to better themselves, better their lives, and better the world, then I have a Discord server down below. And if you guys want to join, then go ahead and do that. If you've made it to the end of the video, then I'm sure you may be interested in something like that. So this channel is mainly about transforming lives and transforming the world. This video is just talking about one area I think could be improved. And if you're a creator and you found value in this, then try to maybe implement it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great one.